Hey YouTube, I'm back. We're going to talk about this Sig 320 pistols, what I think about them, what I've learned. I feel like the internet collectively has learned some things about these. It's been a pretty interesting last few weeks. You see a lot of SIGs being sold online. Police agencies, we're hearing about a few of them dropping SIGs. Uh, I think, I even think mainstream media is working up a story. I mean, not. I got emails from who the hell was it? Was it? I forget. I forget which program. I even got contacted by one of them. They want me to go on camera. I don't think I'm going to do that. Um, you know, not my thing right now. But anyway, I feel like SIG's in a lot of trouble. They're in some hot water. So, like I said, let's go through what's going on, what I think's going on at this point. Now, you may have seen it online. If not, I posted to Instagram one example of a SIG doing this. So what we can do is take a punch, stick it in the back of the gun, and to think about this simply, it doesn't really matter what part I'm pushing on or how I do it. But what I've seen, and I've heard about this from people I know and trust, by sticking a punch in the back of the gun here, we can jostle that around, pull on a thing, push on a thing, whatever, and we can get the striker to fall. Now, not all guns do this. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are calling this a test, and it's like a pass-fail test. That makes sense to me to think about it that way. But let's just think of it as like some guns you can get the striker to fall, some guns you can't. It's a difference. It's a thing that not all guns do. Now, the two examples that I have here, mine don't do this. All right, I can't get them to do it. They pass, so to speak. But talk to other people that have not had that experience. Again, if you're watching this stuff close online, you're seeing this. So it's like, again, putting a punch in the back, we can apply pressure and we can get the striker to fall. So let's carry on. Let's keep going. The other interesting thing I want to bring back up, and that's you guys heard of the YouTuber Pro Band. He's like a little bit on a crusade against SIG, which is fine. But he talked a lot about allegations of QC problems with the SIG. Like we're talking parts that weren't manufactured, where SIG was saying they're manufactured, low quality parts a little bit out of spec, out of tolerance, whatever. That's the allegations. And he had a bunch of documents. Like, I don't know if all that stuff's real. I mean, but it looks like it's real. I mean, it makes sense to me. And be like, yeah, okay, there's QC issues at a gun company. Like, tell me something I don't know, kind of a thing. Okay, so I think those two things together shed some light on what is probably happening. Now, what it looks like is happening. Now, I'm not an engineer. I can't prove this. What it looks like is happening is that there's some variation in terms of the tolerance or the QC or the parts with these guns. And the way that the gun works is, the striker's cocked, or, there's pressure on it. And if that thing, there's little tabs that are meant to catch it and release it, or like stop it from being released if you don't pull the trigger. Those may not be functioning all the time in all models. Now, that's what's interesting about reproducing exactly what's going on with the SIG pistols is apparently the striker rotates slightly, just a couple degrees, it's a little bit. Apparently the striker rotates a little bit in the striker channel, which means that every time you cock it, the striker might sit in there a little bit differently. It probably does, okay? Boom, it goes off, striker sits a little bit different. That kind of thing. Now, what I think, again, can't prove this, but what I think is going on, and a lot of other people think this too, is that if you get, the right set of circumstances inside the gun, because it's not 100% exactly how everything's fitted, the QC, how it works, it moves a little bit anyway, blah, blah, blah. If you get it just right, then the striker's in a position where it can just fall, provided there's some jostling around or something happens. Like again, think about the punch test. Like if I stick the punch in there and I can get the striker to fall, well, it makes sense that I could maybe get the striker to do that without sticking anything in there, just like kind of jostling the gun around. That makes sense. Like all of this logically tracks that is probably what's going on. All right. So that's what I think. Now, here's a couple of things to consider. As I know there's a lot of people that are doubters. That's fine. A lot of doubters out there. For these guns, shouldn't they all behave the same, one way or the other? Like either I mean, if I stick a punch in the back of one gun and I can get the striker to fall, like why don't they all do that? You know, why not? Like you would think they would all do the same thing one way or the other. Like if it's a safe gun and that's an invalid test and that's, like kind of a bad line of thinking, well, why aren't all the guns the same? That's the first question. Something to think about. Another thing to think about. All right, consider the nature of the discharges. Like there's some of them that are on video. What a lot of guys will say is they're like, oh, well, if I take my Sig and I load it and I put it in a safe, it doesn't go off. I haven't heard of any cases of that where the gun's sitting in a safe and goes off, or just sitting in a room unattended and goes off. What allegations do you hear? It's like, no, it's associated with some other thing. Like you've seen videos maybe of police doing something where somebody gets a little bit, I've seen a couple of them kind of being handsy with a suspect type of a thing, and then there's a pop. Oh, boy, what was that? What's going on? It wasn't the case that the gun was just sitting there not moving. There was physical activity, like maybe there was some torque applied, to the holster. Maybe it was getting banged around. But everything I've seen, it's been movement. It's been the guy's getting out of a car, and then, oh, the thing goes off. Oh, this guy bends over. Oh, the thing goes off. Like that kind of stuff. That's what we're seeing. So consider that as like, does that line up with what it looks like is happening? So anyway, it has been lots of fun to watch the Sig meltdown, but also it's been pretty educational, because if you kind of parse things out, you see little things online, you can ask some questions and have a conversation. And that's what's cool about the internet, actually, is this has started a big conversation of people trying to get to the bottom of this thing, one way or the other. Like, hey, I don't think the guns are discharging, or hey, I think they are, whatever. We can talk about it and try to figure it out. And I have to tell you, like, at this point, like, I first heard about this potential issue years ago, right? And now at this point, it's kind of like, okay, I have a pretty good idea what I think is going on. And I'm eager to learn more. We're going to see, I think, over the coming years, probably, what exactly this is. And I think it's going to be pretty exciting. I'm not sure if SIG's going to be around after that. I don't really know. I don't know what their financial exposure is on this. I imagine it's big. So we will see what happens. Very exciting times to be alive, that's for sure.